Rya is an NPC in Elden Ring with a questline involving Tanith, the Volcano Manor, and a bunch of unique rewards, all of which will be covered in this guide. As usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. Rya can first be found to the east of the Scenic Isle Site of Grace in Liurnia, in the pavilion next to the Bird's Eye Telescope. This step is completely optional and may have been skipped if you've already spoken with Tanith at Volcano Manor. At Rya's first location, she'll task you with the retrieval of her necklace from another Tarnished. Head northwest to the Boiled Prawn Shack where you'll find Blackguard Big Boggart. While you can attack and defeat him to get back Rya's necklace, I recommend just paying 1000 runes for it instead, as this will open up a new questline for Big Boggart. You can find a link to a guide for that quest near the bottom of this video's description. Return to Rya near the pavilion and hand over the necklace, then go through any remaining dialogue. Afterwards, Rya will move to the Altus Plateau and be found at one of two locations. Again, this is another optional step that may have been skipped if you already spoke with Tanith at Volcano Manor. The first possible location for Rya is at the top of the Grand Lift of Dectus. She should be there if you take the Grand Lift up after giving back her necklace. You'll need to get both halves of the Dectus Medallion. One can be found at Fort Height in southeast Limgrave, and the other half can be found at Fort Feroth in Caelid. Once you have the complete medallion, take it to the Grand Lift of Dectus in northeastern Liurnia. You can get to it by traveling up along the west side of Liurnia Lake. After reaching the main Rya Manor Gate Site of Grace, head east and use a stone spire bridge to cross over to the east side, then make your way north to the lift. The second possible location for Rya is to the north of the Grand Lift, near the Erdtree Gazing Hill Site of Grace. She may be here if you've gotten to Altus Plateau by some other means than by using the Grand Lift. If you can't find Rya at either location, try taking the Grand Lift of Dectus up to the Altus Plateau again to trigger her appearance there. Regardless of which location you meet her at, she'll offer to transport you to Volcano Manor, skipping a whole lot of travel time. If at this point you still can't find Rya, well, you can just skip all the previous steps and locations in her questline by traveling to the Volcano Manor. Here's a quick guide for how to get there on foot. To start, from the Grand Lift of Dectus, you'll need to make your way over to the Bridge of Iniquity. Along the cliff wall to the northwest, there's an easy-to-miss ladder that leads to the top of the mountains where the first Mount Gelmir campsite Site of Grace can be found. From there, make your way along the path, crossing a few bridges and climbing a few more ladders until finally arriving at Volcano Manor. Once at Volcano Manor, speak with Tanith and agree to join them. And rest assured, this will not have any negative effects elsewhere in the game. Afterwards, reload the game and Rya will move to a new location in the main Manor Banquet Room, skipping any previous steps in her questline. As a quick warning, if you haven't already completed the first step of Blackguard Big Boggart's quest, which was covered near the start of this video, after Rya moves, you will no longer be able to do that. Go to Rya's first location in the manor, which is in the Banquet Room. You'll find it down the hall through the second door on your left. You can speak with her there for some additional dialogue and then pick up the first Volcano Manor request from the table nearby. Old Knight Istvan is the target. Head to the marked location north of Warmaster's Shack in Limgrave. Use the red summoning sign to invade and defeat Istvan, acquiring his scaled armor set in the process. Afterwards, return to Tanith to report your success. She'll give you the Magma Shot sorcery as a reward. Reload the game and Rya will move to a new room. It's down the hall through the second door on your right. Here you'll find her in her true form as Zorayas, the Serpentborn. Speak through all of her dialogue to progress her quest. You can speak with Tanith afterwards to get some additional new dialogue. Return to the Banquet Room table and pick up the second target request for the manor, which I believe is pronounced Rileigh the Idol. You can reach him by heading through the ravine north of the Grand Lift of Dectus. Find his red summoning sign a short distance south from the Shaded Castle. Once again, use the summoning sign to invade and defeat Rileigh, acquiring the Crepice's Vial Talisman in the process. Report back to Tanith about your success and she'll give you the Serpentbone Blade as a reward. She'll also bring you in on the secret of Volcano Manor. After that, reload the game and find Rya in the same room as before, but this time she'll be in her human form. Speak through all of her dialogue to advance the quest. At this point, we'll need to venture down into Volcano Manor's underbelly. There's a false wall at the back of the room that is through the first door on the right side of the main manor hallway. Click the dodge roll button while running into the false wall to dispel it. Venture southwest past the Bloodhound Knight and you'll eventually arrive at the Prison Town Church Site of Grace. Make sure to open the doors at the opposite side of the church to progress Rya's quest. Next, return to Rya and share your findings. After going through all of Rya's dialogue, you can speak with Tanith for some new additional dialogue from her. At this point, we'll need to head through the underbelly of Volcano Manor to reach the Temple of Eiglay. We'll make a quick stop at the Guest Hall Site of Grace along the way. From the guest hall, you'll need to travel a bit further to reach the Temple of Eiglay. There's a lever to the north that you can pull to raise a giant bridge leading back to the Prison Town Church. Then head into the Temple of Eiglay to face off with the Godskin Noble. However you manage it, defeating this boss will reward you with the Noble Presence incantation. Discover the Site of Grace that appears nearby, then pick up the Serpent Amnion near the back of the temple. Return to Rya's location, show her the Amnion, and then speak to her until you've gone through all of her dialogue to advance the quest. Upon reloading the game, Rya will have disappeared, moving on to her next location. Speak with Tanith about Rya's absence and go through the resulting dialogue. Speak with her a second time after that, and Tanith will ask that you deliver a Tonic of Forgetfulness to Rya. If you already eliminated the third Volcano Manor target, which is requested for in a red letter, then you will not get the dialogue choices from Tanith that result in obtaining the Tonic of Forgetfulness. This will close off one of the options for how you can complete Rya's quest, but you'll still be able to complete it. At this point, we'll need to return to the Church of Eiglay and venture forward to get to Rya's next location. Ascend using the lift on the southeast side of the church, then head out the door and continue along the beaten path until you encounter a Virgin Maiden. Run past the maiden and jump through a window, pass a man-serpent and descend up a staircase, and then jump over the left side near the end of the bridge that follows, carefully landing on the solid ground below. This will put you right next to the entrance of a small secluded room where you'll find Rya. Make sure the Virgin Maiden has stopped following you, otherwise it'll put Rya in danger. Here is where we have the important decision-making step of this quest. Rya will be in a state of despair when you speak with her and will ask that you put her out of her misery. If you oblige, then that will be the end of Rya's quest, but it's hardly the most uplifting option, instead it's the most tragic. Alternatively, you can give her the Tonic of Forgetfulness at this point if you have it, which sort of goes against her wishes. In addition, you'll have one other opportunity to give her the tonic later on, and I'm not sure if it matters whether you give it to her then versus now. If you give Rya the tonic at this point, she'll simply fall asleep and her questline will not end until after completing a few more steps. One other thing to consider is that it seems the Tonic of Forgetfulness has other potential uses, which I'll talk about later in the video. But back to Rya, there's a third and last option, which is to neither attack Rya nor give her the tonic, and instead just leave her until later. This is the only option that will result in obtaining Rya's letter at the end of her quest, and is arguably the choice with the most optimistic conclusion to her story. Assuming you went with one of the latter two options, we'll complete the remaining steps for Rya's quest. As a quick note, there's still plenty to explore down in this area, including a direct path to the God-Devouring Serpent, aka the final boss for Volcano Manor. However, you can always come back to explore later, and if you're following this guide, then there is a much easier way to reach that boss fight, which will be covered in short order. In any case, you should wait to defeat the final boss, as it will lock you out of any remaining quests in Volcano Manor. Getting back on track, after speaking to Rya, retrieve the final Volcano Manor request from the Banquet Room if you haven't already. It's the one in the red letter, and it's for Juno Hoslow, Knight of Blood. Reaching this target will require gaining access to the mountaintops of the Giants. In order to access the mountaintops, you'll first need to acquire 2 of the Great Runes. I recommend getting the ones from Godric and Rennala, then make your way through Leyndell Royal Capital, and defeat Morgott the Omen King at the Elden Throne. After doing all of that, Melina will give you the Rolled Medallion, which you can use to take the Grand Lift of Rolled up to the mountaintops. From the Lift of Rolled, make your way north until you reach the ancient Snow Valley Ruins Site of Grace. From there, head northwest to the marked location, which is just a short distance east from the Shack of the Lofty. At this point, you probably know what to do. Find the red summoning sign, invade, eliminate, and reap the rewards. This time around, you'll acquire the Hoslow's Petal Whip along with the Hoslow's armor set. Report back to Tanith about your success, and you'll receive the Taker's Cameo Talisman as a reward. At this point, Tanith will offer to transport you directly to the Lord of Volcano Manor, aka the God-Devouring Serpent, aka Rykard. Before doing that, I highly suggest you find both Patches and Bernal in the main hub area of Volcano Manor and complete each of their requests. Completing Patches' request will reward you with the Bull Goat armor set and Magma Whip candlestick. Meanwhile, completing Bernal's request will reward you with the Gelmir's Fury sorcery along with access to new unique Ashes of War from his shop. You can find links to guides for each of their questlines near the bottom of this video's description. And again, you want to do that before facing the Lord of Volcano Manor, because after defeating him, you'll lose access to these quests. So, once you've done all that, accept Tanith's offer and prepare to face the God-Devouring Serpent. I don't often give advice on how to defeat bosses, but for this boss, there is a special weapon to your left as you enter the arena, the Serpent Hunter, which you'll want to grab and equip. For this fight and this fight only, the Serpent Hunter is an absolute beast. You can even upgrade it at a smith to make it stronger, but that's hardly necessary if you ask me. Defeating this boss will reward you with the Remembrance of the Blasphemous, which can be exchanged at Round Table Hold for either Rykard's Rancor or the Blasphemous Blade. After defeating the Serpent boss, head back to Rya's last known location. Speak with Rya and you'll get your last opportunity to give her the Tonic of Forgetfulness. If you save it, there will be a point where you can offer it to Corrin near the end of his questline, but it doesn't seem to significantly affect the outcome of that quest either way. For my own decision, I chose not to give Rya the tonic at this point. However you choose, go through Rya's remaining dialogue and then reload the area. If you chose not to give Rya the tonic, she will have gone, leaving behind the Daedicar's Woe Talisman along with Rya's letter. For anyone that's interested, you can pause the video now and read the letter for yourself. If you obliged Rya's request and ended her suffering either earlier on or at this point, you will also get the talisman, but you won't get the letter for obvious reasons. Finally, if you gave Rya the Tonic of Forgetfulness, she'll return to her original location in the Volcano Manor hub after defeating the God-Devouring Serpent and once all the other inhabitants have left. This means you'll need to return to Volcano Manor and speak with Tanith, Patches, and probably Bernal too if he's still there. Then reload the area. After speaking through Rya's dialogue, you can reload the area again and Rya will be gone as well. You'll find the Daedicar's Woe Talisman where she was standing, but not the letter of farewell. And that's about it for the questline of Zorayas, also known as Rya. If you're still having trouble with this quest, you can reach out in the comments section where I'll do my best to help. I also recommend reading the comment I have pinned, as I'll be updating it with information about specific problems people are having and potential solutions. I'm working on guides for all the major quests in Elden Ring. If you want to find those, you can head over to my channel, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat, her name's Marshmallow. Also, the Marshmallow merch store is now live over on the channel. It features professional Elden Ring inspired artwork of your favorite fluffball. Have a great day. If you're here today, have a great Friday and a great weekend. And as always, thanks for watching.